This is Death Star. Specifically designed to obliterate planets, the DS-1 orbital battle station is a magnificent feat of engineering. Despite being under the command of Grand Moff Tarkin, it was director Orson Krennic who miraculously delivered the Emperor his coveted battle station. The Death Star is over 160 kilometers wide and can hold millions of Imperial personnel. The firepower of this monumental battle station is rivaled by none. This is Death Star 2. The DS-2 Death Star was designed to eclipse its predecessor in every way. However, its purpose is the same: destroy planets and force star systems to surrender in fear. Learning from their past mistakes, the Empire updated much of the technology and building methods they used in the DS-1. Despite still being under construction in the orbit of the forest moon of Endor, the Death Star 2 is fully operational and capable of untold destruction. This is Executor. Even mightier than both previous Star Destroyer models, the Super Star Destroyer is the pinnacle of the Galactic Empire's navy. These Executor-class Star Dreadnoughts are a staggering 19,000 meters long and can house thousands of starships within its hangars. Not only is it armed with its own destructive weaponry, but has the ability to unleash a magnitude of TIE fighters on its enemies. This is Fulminatrix. The Mandator 4-class siege dreadnought is a devastating leviathan, measuring 2.5 times longer than the Resurgent-class Star Destroyer. The dreadnought is armed with 2 orbital cannons that can wreak immense destruction on a planet's surface. This is Home 1. Home 1, a modified MC-80A Star Cruiser, is Admiral Akbar's flagship and flies in the service of the Rebel Alliance. The cruiser was initially created as an exploring vessel, so had to be modified and upgraded to serve its military needs. Now, it fights the Galactic Empire, housing many of the rebellion's leaders and crucial figures. This is Invisible Hand. A Providence-class dreadnought, the Invisible Hand is commanded by General Grievous. Even though there are a number of organic crew members, most of the Invisible Hand's passengers are droids. This huge ship also has a large complement of self-flying droid starfighters and a devastating amount of vulture droids on hand. This is Steadfast. Under the control of Allegiant General Pride, the Steadfast is a crucial command ship in the First Order's navy. The ship holds meetings of the First Order High Command and houses Kylo Ren's private suite, where he kept his grandfather's helmet. Now that the final order has arisen, the Steadfast is the flagship from which the Sith Eternal shall rule. This is Trade Federation Battleship. The Lucrehulk-class battleship is often referred to as the Droid Control Ship. This is because the Trade Federation modified the battleship by adding a large communications array that was capable of commanding the vast droid army they had under their control. The sphere in the center served as headquarters to the conniving Trade Federation leadership, whilst the surrounding ring was home to a huge complement of droid starfighters and B-1 battle droids. This is Venator. Used by the Galactic Republic on multiple occasions, the Republic attack cruiser is a versatile ship. It is fitted with a number of heavy armaments, making it effective in combat. However, it also served as a transport vessel for the Republic's vast navy. The ship could hold a large number of the Republic's starfighters within its hangar. This meant the Republic attack cruisers were used as bases and headquarters, not just warships. This is an AA-9 freighter. Produced by Botajev shipyards, the AA-9 freighter initially joined the Galactic Republic's navy as a recovery vehicle. The Coruscant freighter, as it was often known, was able to carry 300 passengers and could hold enough supplies for 3 months. This means the freighter was vital in transporting refugees from planets ravaged by conflict. As the Separatist crisis evolved and the clone army was deployed, the freighter's purpose evolved and it was used to transport clone troopers across the galaxy to various battlegrounds. A versatile vessel indeed. This is the ARC-170 Starfighter. Was a Republic craft that was built for versatility. The 12.71-meter-long vessel was armed with forward and rear-facing laser cannons, which was controlled by a tail gunner. Clearly created for intense combat, the ARC-170 was also capable of long-distance deep space journeys. Long-range scanners and sensors fitted into the nose made sure the ship lived up to its aggressive reconnaissance model name. This is Atmospheric Assault Lander. The AAL 1971/9.1 troop transport was more commonly referred to as a first-order transporter. Its purpose was to carry 20 troopers from space vessels to planetary surfaces. It was built for rapid deployment, and its 4 sublight engines meant it was often able to get troopers on the ground within 30 seconds of initial departure. This is a B-wing starfighter. The ASF-01 B-wing is a heavily armed rebel starfighter and bomber. It features an unusual cockpit configuration as the command pod has a gyroscopic control system. This means the pilot is kept stationary whilst the rest of the ship rotates around them. The B-wing has an overly impressive assortment of weapons and features numerous laser and ion cannons, as well as proton torpedo launchers.
Turn me loose.
This is BTA-NR2 Y-wing. The new BTA-NR2 Y-wing starfighter was created during the New Republic age as a homage to the much-revered BTL-A4 Y-wing. It maintained its iconic shape, however, it was packed with many advanced technologies, updated engines, and upgraded weaponry. Buyers were so enamored with the Y-wing that the manufacturers made it possible to install replica, stylized armor to give it the look of the much-loved Rebellion-era model. This is BTL-A4 Y-wing. Raided from salvage yards after being made obsolete by the Galactic Empire, the BTL-A4 Y-wing became one of the Rebellion's most vital ships. After their acquisition, the Rebels modified the Y-wings for their specific purposes. The long, twin-ion-engined vessel was capable of functioning as both a starfighter and as a bomber, meaning the ship had dual duties until the introduction of the X-wings. Even then, the Y-wing endured and continued to lead the Rebellion's bomb runs on its enemies. This is Bestoon Legacy. Belonging to the Sith loyalist Ochi, this WTK-85A interstellar transport was designed for solo travelers and scouts. The Bestoon Legacy was fitted with a state-of-the-art Navi computer, which along with its sublight engines, gave it starfighter-like speed. Though when under attack, Ochi would often reroute power to the deflector shields for improved defenses. This is Boba Fett's Starship, Slave 1. Boba Fett's Starship is a highly modified Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft. The work carried out by its owners has made it the ultimate bounty hunting vessel. With many hidden armaments, it is deceivingly deadly. Boba Fett inherited the ship from his father and made further modifications to suit his needs throughout his bounty hunting career. This is a CR-90 Corvette, Tantive 4. This CR-90 Corvette, the Tantive 4, has been with the Rebellion since its inception. Whilst in service to House Organa of Alderaan, the ship passed from father to daughter. Princess Leia Organa was commanding the ship when it was boarded by the Empire searching for the Death Star plans. Despite its 11 ion turbine drives, the ship could not outrun the Imperial Star Destroyers. Still going strong after all these years, Leia has the ship being used as a barracks for the Resistance support crew on Aja and Kloss. This is Count Dooku's Solar Sailor. Received as a gift from the Geonosians, this Punwarka 116 class interstellar sloop was Count Dooku's personal transport. The Count modified the sloop by adding a solar energy collecting sail, meaning it could still fly without fuel and was able to reach sublight speeds. This is Darth Maul's Scimitar. This heavily modified Star Courier was the personal ship of Darth Maul. It was officially called the Scimitar, however many called it the Sith Infiltrator. In addition to having a large number of cannons, the Scimitar was also fitted with a cloaking device. This gave the ship the rare ability to seemingly vanish whilst being pursued. This is Darth Vader's TIE Advanced X-1. The TIE Advanced X-1 was an experimental prototype starfighter flown by Sith Lord Darth Vader. While Sienar fleet systems were developing new state-of-the-art TIE starfighters, Darth Vader was able to obtain a model for himself. Mounted with twin blaster cannons, a cluster missile launcher, and a hyperdrive, the TIE Advanced also had inclined wings, which maximized its speed. This is Droid Tri-fighter. These heavily armed droid starfighters are part of the Separatist forces. The Droid Tri-fighter is controlled by an advanced droid brain, giving it an advantage when combating organic pilots. Its wide array of weapons ensures that any enemy of the Droid Tri-fighter is totally obliterated. This is Escape Pod. The Tantive 4 Class 6 Escape Pod is an emergency craft created by Corellian Engineering Corporation. The craft can house 5 to 6 passengers and is equipped with 4 thrusters at its rear and several other thrusters around its hull for maneuvering after a successful escape launch has been carried out. This is Falcon Escape Pod. Han had jettisoned the escape pods when the Falcon was caught in the Death Star's tractor beam, but subsequent owners have reinstalled them for use in an emergency. This is First Order TIE Fighter. The most common starfighter in the First Order's fleet, the TIE Fighter is deliberately modeled on its Imperial counterpart. It may have retained the iconic look, but the technology on the inside was much more advanced. Powered by vertical PS-6 twin-ion engines and mounted with rear external thrusters, rotated by 90 degrees, this new line of TIE Fighter is far superior to those from the Galactic Civil War. This is Fortitude. Nicknamed Lucky Lander, the Fortitude is a transport hauler in the Resistance's dwindling fleet. Called upon during the Battle of Exegol, this trusty YC-123B transport delivered a number of crucial personnel to the ground assault team. This is GNK Power Cruiser. The hulking GNK Power Cruiser is truly a sight to behold. Carrying many a hard-working donk, this beautifully crafted cruiser is the envy of pilots across the galaxy. The ship is one of a kind, so actually spotting this behemoth among the stars is quite the rarity. This is General Grievous's Soulless one. The Soulless one is a customized Bell-Bulb 22 starfighter that serves as General Grievous's personal ship. Despite Grievous preferring hand-to-hand combat over space battles, the ship was still mounted with rapid-fire laser cannons for protection. As the General would often be seen fleeing conflicts in it, the starfighter was sometimes referred to as the Spineless one. This is Ghost. Owned by the Twi'lek Hera Syndulla, the Ghost is a modified VCX-100 that is used by the rebel group, Spectres. Its captain named the ship Ghost due to its frequent ability to evade Imperial sensors. This was partly due to the energy dampers on the engines and the static jammers it also had installed. However, some credit must still be given to its esteemed pilot. Heavily armored with multiple turrets, the Ghost is a ship ready for battle and continues to fight against its oppressors.
May the Force be with you.
This is an H-type Nubian yacht. The Queen of Naboo often travels in a chromium-covered yacht, a symbol of her position of power on Naboo. The Royal House of Naboo used the H-type Nubian yachts for safe traveling, and with an impressive atmospheric speed and a hyperdrive on board, the yacht is built to flee any conflict it may find itself in. It was also fitted with a deflector shield, in case the worst were to happen and the ship was to be attacked. This is HMP Droid Gunship. Created by the Geonosians, the HMP Droid Gunship is a type of airspeeder controlled by an advanced droid brain. Despite being armed with heavy weaponry, the HMP was not just used as a gunship, but also a transport. It could hold racks of B-1 and B-2 battle droids and deploy them into combat. This is IG-2000. IG-2000 is a modified aggressor assault fighter belonging to the bounty hunter IG-88. The prolific assassin droid ensured that the ship had room to transport up to 8 prisoners and that it was mounted with suitable bounty-stopping weaponry. This is the Imperial Lambda-Class shuttle. These hyperdrive-equipped Imperial shuttles were primarily designed to carry troopers. However, due to their elegant design, they would occasionally transport high-ranking officers. Even the Emperor was known to travel from ship to ship in a Lambda-class shuttle if necessary. This is Imperial Sentinel Landing Transport. The Sentinel-class landing transports were large-scale trooper carriers employed by the Galactic Empire. These landing crafts had the capacity to transport up to 75 troopers to the battlefield and were well armed to ensure they reached their destination in one piece. This is a J-type star skiff. The J-type Starskiff is a yacht starship created for the Royal House of Naboo. With its primary function being to transport passengers, it was referred to as skiff. However, due to the importance of said passengers, the J-type was mounted with 2 laser cannons as a last-ditch form of defense. The sleek design and dual sublight engines means that when encountering danger, the J-type is able to make a quick escape. This is Jango Fett's Starship, Slave 1. Jango Fett's Starship is a modified Firespray 31 class patrol and attack craft. Much of the work has been carried out by its owner, Jango Fett. With many hidden armaments, it is a deceivingly deadly starfighter. It uniquely switches between a horizontal and vertical orientation, making it an easily recognizable ship. This is Jedi Interceptor. The Jedi Interceptor is an agile starfighter used by the Jedi Order. The Interceptor saw a lot of combat, so to avoid the engine overheating, S-foils on the wings would open to shed excess heat from its engines. In heavy circulation during the latter days of the Clone Wars, this BTA-2 Actis-class light interceptor would lead troops in battle at top speeds of 1,500 km per hour. A number of important Jedi piloted these speedy starfighters, including Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda.
This is where the fun begins.
This is Jedi Starfighter. The Delta 7 Aethersprite class interceptor was designed specifically for the Jedi Order. The designers installed fewer computer systems, instead focusing on making the controls as intuitive as possible to make the most of the Jedi's force abilities. Unlike other starfighters, the Delta 7s had astromech droids hardwired into the ship due to the wings being so thin. This meant the droids played a more integral part in piloting and navigating the ship. This is Kylo Ren's command shuttle. Kylo Ren's command shuttle is an Upsilon-class command shuttle. The ship is his personal transport vessel, carrying him to the battlefield whenever he deems the situation necessary. It may be mounted with 2 heavy laser cannons, but the shuttle is not made for combat. It utilizes its 2 deflector shields, 2 sublight engines, and its anti-projectile deflection system to keep Kylo safe from harm. This is Kylo Ren's TIE Whisper. The TIE Whisper was created to the exact specifications provided by Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. A huge improvement on other TIE line starfighters, the Whisper was made to be faster and to hold more firepower. Kylo didn't just design the Whisper for combat though, he had sensor-confusing technology installed, meaning he could avoid enemy detection and stealthily attack his targets. This is Libertine. The Libertine is a custom star yacht. To emphasize the owner's great wealth, the entire ship was built by organics, not droids, and was cased with a chromium-detailed hull. The proud owner of the yacht also installed a variety of anti-theft systems to make sure his prized possession was safe from thieves. This is Luke Skywalker's T-65 X-wing Red 5. Most famously used by the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War, the T-65B X-wing is a nimble yet powerful starfighter. This iconic ship was the cornerstone of the Rebel Navy, making up the bulk of the fighters in the fleet. The ship's S-foils opened during combat to create the unmistakable X shape, which gave the pilot a wider spread of fire from its wing-tipped KX-9 laser cannons.
This is Red 5, I'm going in.
This is the MG-100 Starfortress SF-17. Known as the Resistance Bomber, the MG-100 Starfortress SF-17 is a rugged and bulky ship. The bomber houses 5 crew members, a pilot, an engineer, a bombardier, and 2 gunners. The sole purpose of the Resistance Bomber is to drop a staggering 1,048 proton bombs onto its target. This sluggish destroyer is not the fastest of ships, meaning that it needs an escort of starfighters to keep it safe as it makes its way to drop the payload. This is Mi-Sun Martinet. Famous space pirate Sidon Athano made a number of modifications to his CSS-1 Corellian Star Shuttle, a ship he named the Mi-Sun Martinet. His crew consisted of other pirates native to Sidon's home planet, Ponema Terminal. Mounted with laser cannons to immobilize rival pirates, Sidon and his crew flew the Mi-Sun Martinet on many a risky treasure hunt. This is Millennium Falcon, Episode 4-6. Piloted by the smuggler Han Solo and his best friend Chewbacca, the Millennium Falcon is the modified YT-1300F light freighter that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. After winning the repurposed transport ship from Lando Calrissian in a game of sabacc, Han continued to modify the Falcon, turning it into the icon it is today. This is Millennium Falcon, Episode 7 to 8. The legendary Millennium Falcon was sat rusting on Jakku until Rey and Finn liberated the modified YT-1300F light freighter whilst fleeing from the First Order. After joining up with the Resistance, the Falcon was again part of the fight against tyranny, as it once was during the Galactic Civil War. However brief it may have been, the irreplaceable Han Solo got his chance to sit in the cockpit one last time. Now, the ship is in the care of Rey and Han's best friend, Chewbacca. This is Millennium Falcon, Episode 9. A symbol of the rebellion and now the resistance as well, the Millennium Falcon is still very much in active duty. Poe Dameron used the ship to retrieve vital intel from a First Order spy before lightspeed skipping the Falcon back to base, a technique that damaged the legendary freighter and angered its keeper, Rey. Even after all these years, the hunk of junk is still running and finds itself on the front lines, fighting the good fight.
Look at this.
This is Mist Hunter. This modified G1A Starfighter belonged to the Gand bounty hunter Zuckuss, but he rarely bounty hunts alone. His droid companion, 4-LOM, co-pilots the Mist Hunter whenever they embark on galaxy-wide quests for bounties. Zuckuss breathes ammonia, not oxygen, and seeing as 4-LOM is a droid, Zuckuss would keep the ship filled with ammonia mists, hence the ship's name. This is Naboo Royal Starship. The Naboo Royal Starship is a modified J-Type 327 Nubian, designed specifically for the Royal House of Naboo. The ship is always at the Queen's disposal. Its sleek, stunning design is considered art by many Naboo natives, and the mesmerizing reflective finish is due to a royal chromium hull, a fitting addition to such a regal craft. This is Naboo Starfighter. The Royal N1 Starfighter is a quintessential Naboo creation. Its sleek design features chromium tips on the front of the ship, whilst the rest is finished in a vibrant yellow. Dedicated to the ecological conservation of their planet, the manufacturers made the ship's engines burn fuel at a higher than normal temperature, thereby reducing the amount of harmful emissions created. This is Nantex-class Starfighter. The Nantex-class Territorial Defense Starfighter was widely known as the Geonosian Starfighter, as it was employed by the Geonosians to protect the droid factories during the Clone Wars. These swift starfighters had their cockpit located on top of the craft, underneath a clear canopy. This gave the pilots a clear 360-degree view whilst flying. This is Night Buzzard. Formerly a prisoner transport ship, the Night Buzzard is the vessel used by the enigmatic Knights of Ren. Liberated during a raid in the Outer Rim, the Oubliette-class transport had its appearance modified to align with the Knights' dark side affinity. They also tampered with the engines, so they produced more thrust. The side effect of this being that the ship spewed noxious gas as it flew. This is Poe Dameron's Black One. Poe's X-Wing, known as Black One due to its paint job, is a T-70 X-Wing starfighter. This new and improved X-Wing maintains its predecessor's unmistakable S-foils and subsequently its iconic X shape. The upgraded weaponry means that this X-Wing is much more versatile, now being capable of not only dogfights, but of taking on large capital ships. Poe has flown this majestic craft into many a battle, including the attack on Starkiller Base. This is Quad Jumper. The Tug B-13, more commonly known as the Quad Jumper, is a space tug and can be found in junkyards and freight depots. The Quad Jumper uses magnetic clamps on its underside to grab its cargo. Then it utilizes its 4 large thrusters to speedily transport it. This is RZ-1 A-wing. The RZ-1 Y-wing interceptor was a staple of the Rebel Alliance's fleet. Featuring in a number of key battles, the A-wing's combination of short-range sensor jammers and HM-6 concussion missile launchers made it a devastating opponent. This versatile starfighter was also fitted with 2 hyperdrive motivators and dual BPR-99 fusion reactors, meaning it was an incredibly hard vessel to keep up with. This is a Republic cruiser. During the waning years of the Galactic Republic, this consular-class space cruiser became synonymous with the Republic Navy, in part due to its large size and distinct color. Having a recognizable hull was crucial, as it meant all those that saw it knew it was on a diplomatic mission, flying unarmed. This is Resistance A-wing. The RZ-2 A-wing interceptor used by the Resistance is the more streamlined successor of the Rebel Alliance's RZ-1 A-wing. This updated model factored in years of modifications made by the Rebellion to create an elite and bespoke starfighter. The speed is almost unparalleled for a starfighter, and as such, many pilots found it an honor to be assigned an A-wing in combat. This is Resistance ITS transport. The intersystem transport ships are used primarily for long-haul cargo and troop transport by the Resistance. An ITS was stationed on Batuu, under the command of Lieutenant Beck. The transport was due to carry new Resistance members to rendezvous with General Organa on Pakara. However, the ship was intercepted by a First-Order Star Destroyer. Thanks to the quick thinking of some disguised Resistance spies already on board the vessel, everyone made it back to Batuu safely. This is Resistance transport. The Resistance transport is built using sections of a variety of craft. Most notably, the cockpit is from a B-wing Mark II. The parts have been so heavily modified that in order to actually fly the ship, the pilot had to use holographic visuals and a sensor suite instead of actually looking through a windshield. Despite being merely a transport ship, the Resistance mounted some modest weapons to it so it was able to protect itself if necessary. This is a Resistance transport pod. Like its larger companion, the Resistance transport pod featured a cockpit fashioned out of an old B-wing Mark II. Originally, the pod was supposed to attach to a passenger module, making it a troop transport. However, due to the transport pod having its own hyperdrive installed, these convenient little ships became excellent 2-person shuttles for galaxy-wide journeys. This is a Separatist Vulture droid. This unmanned starfighter was created for the Trade Federation and was subsequently utilized by the Separatists. The fact that the Vulture droids are unmanned vessels means there is more space for armaments. It also makes the Vulture droids more dispensable during a battle. Despite lacking a pilot's wits, this deadly droid is still able to fly with prowess and can perform near impossible maneuvers around its enemy. This is a T-70 X-wing. The T-70 X-wing starfighter is the successor to the historic T-65B X-wing used by the Rebellion in the Galactic Civil War. This new and improved X-wing maintained its predecessor's unmistakable S-foils and subsequently its iconic X shape. All the advancements made to the engines and armaments made the T-70 more expensive. However, the upgraded weaponry means that this X-wing is much more versatile, now being capable of not only dogfights but of taking on large capital ships. This is T-70 X-wing, Episode 9. Poe's X-wing is a T-70 X-wing starfighter with a unique light gray and orange paint job. The T-70 X-wing has been hugely upgraded from its Rebellion-era predecessor. The new weaponry means that this X-wing is much more versatile, now being capable of not only dogfights but of taking on large capital ships.
Are clear.
This is TIE Baron. More commonly known as the TIE Baron, this Interceptor-class starfighter was the best TIE line ship the First Order had available to its pilots. Those who flew the TIE Barons were able to utilize its hyperdrive and 4 wingtip laser cannons to chase and destroy any enemy they came across. This is TIE Bomber. This impressive addition to the Galactic Empire's navy provided them with an entirely new method of warfare. The TIE/SA bomber is often deployed as the first form of assault, dropping devastating bombs on the enemy before starfighters move in to finish the job.
In the night of 1,000 tears.
This is TIE Dagger. Forged in secret on the Sith planet of Exegol, this new model of TIE fighter was exclusively flown by the Final Order and the Sith Eternal. The TIE/DG Starfighter, known as the TIE Dagger, was given a unique dagger-like wing shape and unmistakable red design to signify its allegiance to the Sith. This is TIE Fighter. The TIE/LN Space Superiority Starfighter, or the TIE Fighter, is the Galactic Empire's starfighter of choice. From its recognizable engine roar to its iconic silhouette, the TIE Fighter instantly spreads the fear wherever it flies. Much of the Empire's control over the galaxy was fought for with TIE Fighters, making them synonymous with tyranny and destruction. This is TIE Interceptor. The deadlier iteration of the TIE Fighter, the TIE/LN Interceptor, is made for the most intense space battles. It is mounted with 4 wingtip laser cannons on its forward-pointing solar panels, which make up for the ship's lack of shields. Despite its limited defensive capabilities, the upgraded weaponry and improved engines means that the TIE Interceptor is still a formidable foe.
That's a lot of ships for an Imperial warlord.
This is a TIE/SF Space Superiority Fighter. Used only by the most elite First-Order pilots, this specialized TIE model held 2 back-to-back pilots, giving it a full 360-degree field of fire. This devastating machine was also fitted with a hyperdrive and deflector shields, making it much more advanced than regular TIE models. Whilst escaping the finalizer, Poe Dameron and Finn commandeered one to escape their captors. This is the Razor Crest. Once a military craft, the Razor Crest now serves as Din Djarin's personal transport and quarters. Bounty hunting is a dangerous profession, and it takes the Mandalorian all over the galaxy. Luckily, the Razor Crest has space for him to live, whilst also being able to hold the facilities to carbon freeze his more difficult bounties. The bespoke modifications and its 2 powerful laser cannons made the Mandalorian's Razor Crest a near-perfect bounty hunting machine. This is Theta-Class T-2C Shuttle. The Theta-Class T-2C Shuttle was specifically created for Supreme Chancellor Palpatine during the Clone Wars and served as his personal form of transport. However, after establishing the Galactic Empire, it would also transport high-ranking Imperial officers. This is the Trade Federation Shuttle. These modest transport ships are used by the Trade Federation for short-range transit. The standard Sheathipede-class shuttle was unarmed and sported a basic shield generator for protection. However, in some cases, weapons were added in the form of laser cannons. The armed models were then used to transport important personnel and other valuable cargo. This is a U-55 orbital load lifter. The U-55 orbital load lifter is a transport ship used by the Resistance, commonly known as the lifeboats. Many U-55s helped Resistance fighters evacuate their base on Dakar as the First Order loomed over them. Despite being used in the most dire of situations, the U-55 had no shielding whatsoever, making it vulnerable and an easy target for attackers. This is V-Wing Starfighter. Manufactured by Kuat Systems Engineering, the company behind the Jedi Starfighter, the V-Wing is a lively and nimble ship. In order to increase the speed of the craft, the cockpit is unpressurized. This means the pilot has to wear a sealed flight suit in order to fly it. The Alpha 3 Nimbus-class V-Wing is a compact ship, so it is often transported into battle on board Venator-class star destroyers, from which swarms of V-Wings fly to attack their enemy. This is Wookiee Gunship. The Ozytuck-class gunship was created specifically for the Wookiees. The name Ozytuck roughly translates as Liberated One in the Wookiees' native language of Shiri-Wook. The Wookiee gunship, as it is known, is a heavily armed vessel, hosting 3 twin laser cannons. The unique thing about this ship is that the interiors of the cockpits were made from Roshur trees, the giant mystical trees of the Wookiee homeworld, Kashyyyk. This is a She-class light shuttle. This versatile shuttle is used by the First Order for a number of tasks, mainly carrying equipment and transporting officers. The She-class light shuttle was armed with light weapons and modest shields, but predominantly relied on accompanying starfighters to protect it. This is a YT-2400 light freighter. The YT-2400 is a widely used light freighter manufactured by the Corellian Engineering Corporation, the entity that built the Millennium Falcon. Despite having the same disc-shaped hull as the iconic YT-1300F, this light freighter was more compact and could be flown by a single pilot.